I think I found a really nice spot that looks like a pretty good location to make a video about the Odyssey. I mean, like, in terms of places that look like they'd be in the Odyssey, this is probably the closest it gets within a reasonable driving distance from where I live. It still took me a bit to get here, but you know what? Make do, because there's the ocean, there are rocks. Comment below where you think I am. Correct guess will be the comment that gets pinned. And yeah, so that's what this video is about. It is about the Odyssey because I saw it on Monday in IMAX. And wow, I think, in my opinion, it is Christopher Nolan's best movie since Inception. And I think it's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Now, I say it's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, but like I think Inception is probably a better movie, or Dark Knight was probably a better movie, but in terms of like my own personal enjoyment, I think I enjoyed the Odyssey the most out of all the Christopher Nolan movies I've seen. Now, granted, I haven't seen them all yet. I haven't seen the Prestige. I haven't seen Tenet, for example, but I've seen most of his movies, and yeah, I really liked the Odyssey. Now, I have actually read the book, The Odyssey, the original, like Homer, not in original translation. I don't speak that language. And I will say, I think I agree with Christopher Nolan's like decisions in terms of like what parts of Odysseus's journey he included and what parts he excluded. I feel like there were maybe some things that he left out, like the people who helped Odysseus at the final stretch of his journey. I know there was like the goddess at the end that was helping him, but she also like, trapped him because she was in love with him. But like, there was like in the original book, there's a group of people who helped Odysseus return home, and I feel like the movie kind of skipped that. But also, it was a very long movie, so I kind of understand. You gotta cut things. And like I said, I mostly, for the most part, agree with Christopher Nolan's exclusions, or what he excluded from the movie that's in the book. But yeah, let's talk about like why the movie was so good, should we? It was very well made, obviously. As a Christopher Nolan movie, you kind of expect that, right? The cinematography was amazing. You get these like beautiful like shots of the landscape, of the action that's happening. The action's very well filmed, like the battle in the forest with the moving trees and the giants. That was very well filmed. It wasn't like crazy, like fast cut action that gets dizzying. It wasn't like the chase through the forest in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, where they were chasing through the forest, and it was the worst editing I've ever seen. I watched all the Harry Potter movies recently too, so that's fresh in my mind. That was like the worst editing in anything ever, was the chase through the forest in Deathly Hallows Part 1. But that's not what it was like in the Odyssey. The Odyssey was actually very well edited. The cuts were like not dizzying, and it was pretty easy to follow. Even in the big action scene at the climax. By the way, there is going to be spoilers in this video. When Odysseus was fighting the suitors, even that wasn't that dizzying, and I would have expected that to be a little confusing considering how many suitors there were. But the wind is not doing any favors to my hair. Wow. But regardless, and also the audio is probably going to be a little rough. But we'll see. I don't know until I edit this. Trying to shield this a little bit with my body. I think Robert Pattinson did a great job as the main villain, the main suitor villain. I think Tom Holland did a really good job as Telemachus, and Anne Hathaway did a great job as Penelope. Matt Damon's performance was it was good. It got the job done, but like, it wasn't like breathtaking, right? I don't think it's going to win Best Actor at the Oscars or anything, but it was good. It got the job done, and it was like, he was like stoic and, rugged, and that's who Odysseus was, or is in the movie. The shots, going back to the cinematography a little bit, I'm not scripting, this isn't scripted or anything like that, but going back to the cinematography a little bit, I want to just bring up the shots in the Battle of Troy, that when the Greeks are invading Troy, that those shots, that cinematography is absolutely stunning. And then the production design it looks like ancient Greece. It looks like ancient Mediterranean. So I'd say the production design is pretty good too. I have a similar complaint about the Odyssey that I did for Oppenheimer. And that's that I feel like the score overdoes it. The score is really good, but I feel like it overdoes it, right? Like it overstays its welcome for some scenes. So like in Oppenheimer, for example, in Oppenheimer it'd be like a standard talking scene, a standard dialogue scene, and nothing too crazy going on. And then you have this epic action music going on, right? You got the score is like going crazy, like there's a battle on the scene when it's really just Oppenheimer talking about his affair or whatever. I have that same complaint with the Odyssey, where the score sounds fantastic. It's really good, and it like for the action scenes especially, it sounds great. It fits perfect. Except there are some moments where it's just dialogue, casual dialogue, and yet we still have this epic grand score going on. It doesn't seem to have like a slow or low moment to let the dialogue and let like emotional moments hit. Because I feel like what Christopher Nolan has been doing in his last couple movies is he has been undervaluing the power of like silence or softness for serious moments. Silence or a quieter score can really help increase the power and impact of an emotional scene, dialogue, whatever it may be. So yeah, I just feel like the Odyssey still struggles with that. I mean, overall, if you haven't seen it yet, I think theaters is the way to see it. I think like IMAX 70mm, you don't have to see it like that. I think just seeing it on a big screen in a theater is like the best way to do it. But whatever version of that you want to see it in, you do you. I'm not gonna, you know, it's whatever. If you want to save money and go with standard viewing, that's fine. You know, I'm not your dad. Now I want to address some of the discourse that I've seen online. I have seen people, including like Elon Musk, talk about the historical inaccuracy of the Odyssey, the movie. And a lot of it has to do with racism, where people are wondering why there are black people in Odysseus' crew. Well, guess what? The Mediterranean includes Northern Africa. And guess what? Migration happened back then. So, yeah, I think that the people claiming it's not historically accurate, first of all, you're just wrong. And second, it's a fictional movie. It's not a real movie. It's not based on a true story. I mean, I guess there's like theories that like the Trojan horse was real, right? And we know that Troy was a real city in the ancient times. But like the Odyssey and Homer's, all the way down to Homer's book that the movie is based on, is fiction. So why does historical accuracy in that regard even matter? Accuracy to the source material matters, but like, I mean, like, accuracy to the source material matters, obviously, but I don't think that, you know, Homer's going into super detail about what Odysseus' crew is composed of. I think that it's just a fictional movie. Let Christopher Nolan make the decisions and casting decisions he wants, and I think it doesn't change the fact that it's a great movie. So not only are the people complaining about historical inaccuracy like just straight up wrong about it being historically inaccurate, but they're also just like making a big deal out of a fictional story, so claiming it's like history. But yeah, that's my take on the discourse anyway. But I think it's a great movie. It was definitely the best movie I've seen this year so far. And I honestly think it will probably stay the best movie I've seen this year. I think by the end of 2026, I think I'm going to look back and the Odyssey is still going to be the best movie of the year, in my opinion. And I'm confident it's going to be nominated for Best Picture. But yeah, and I don't know. I think like if I was to rank my favorite Christopher Nolan movies, like my top 5, Odyssey would be number 1, Dark Knight would be 2, Inception would be 3, Oppenheimer would be 4, and I think Memento would be 5. And yeah, that's my ranking of, or the top 5. I didn't go, obviously it's not all of Nolan's movies, but that's my top 5. And I do believe the Odyssey has made itself to the top. I'm filming this almost a full week after I saw it, so it may be a little bit of recency bias, but So I highly recommend you see this movie if you haven't already, especially in theaters before it's too late. And I think it's the best retelling of the Odyssey. Obviously, I mean, it's based directly on the book, but I mean, you have other movies that are loosely based on the Odyssey, like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou by the Coen brothers, or the SpongeBob movie. But I think the Odyssey does it the best. Real quick before I go, I just remembered this part that I wanted to say. My camera is already like packed up, so I'm just recording this part on my phone. But because I wanted to add it and I wanted to make sure I said it. But I think one other complaint I had about the Odyssey actually was it seemed like the producers really wanted to make sure it didn't go past 3 hours. So as a result, they like cut as many frames as possible between dialogue at the very beginning of the movie. So like in the first 15 minutes, like as soon as one character stopped talking, the next character, like immediately the next frame starts talking. There's no like breath or beat like there normally would be in normal conversation. But it was only for the first 15 minutes. After that, it was completely natural, completely like normal. Again, that doesn't, ultimately, I don't think it took away from the movie. I walked away super excited. Like I said, amazing cinematography, amazing production design, great acting. All of those things were fantastic. The story was engaging. So yeah, and that's it. So I know this video may be a little bit like hasty sounding or maybe a little all over the place, but I'm trying to get better at not scripting my movie reviews or TV review videos. It makes it more fun for me that way to just jump right into filming. It makes me just like spit out my raw thoughts and opinions without like thinking about it too hard. So I'm trying to get better at this kind of like format, and you know, the best way to get better at something is to just do it and improve over time with practice. So that's what I'm doing. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe. I got another vlog on the way. I got obviously going to be making more of these movie show review videos. So yeah, subscribe and turn that bell notification on so you know when I upload. I don't have a consistent schedule yet, but I'm hoping I can get into a consistent schedule. Yeah, so leave your comments down below what your thoughts on the Odyssey are. Guess where I am right now, and your comment might be pinned. And yeah, see you in the next video.